So you're thinking about selling your house. Do you really need a real estate agent? Sweet friends, let me tell you, I've had that thought before I got into real estate. As many of you know, I am a public school teacher by trade, and I know that my husband and I, before we moved to Utah, we had talked several times about selling our house. And I, elementary school teacher at the time, had maybe 12 years of experience at that time, really thought, really thought. Now, I got a bachelor's degree, a master's degree. I really thought, oh, well, yeah, I absolutely could sell our house. Oh, sweet friends, you might have had that same thought. But let me tell you, hear my words very clearly. Real estate agents just make it look easy, but it is not. Stay tuned. Let's talk about it. So, my name is Melody, and I am a local real estate agent here in East Tennessee. And I like to be known as a real estate resource. And I really, in my heart of hearts, believed a few years ago, before I even got into real estate, before even real estate was a thought, I was just a teacher, elementary school teacher. I was a mom, a wife, and I really believed that I could sell our house as for sale by owner. Okay, I really believed that. And because again, we had bought our house, our first home. We had a horrible experience. I've made videos about this before, and I'll even tag one up here to show you a little bit more about it. Had a horrible experience when we first bought our house. And so I did know at that time that I would never want anybody to go through the experience that we did when we bought our house. So I knew I didn't want that. But he did make it look so easy. I really thought that I could do it. Okay, I really did. I thought, well, I can just put a for sale sign in the front yard and I can sell this. Yeah, absolutely. I'm a smart girl. Luckily, I'm gonna just say it, common sense came into my brain and said, "Well, actually, no, you don't, because, um, first of all, you gotta advertise your house. You gotta do more than just put a sign in your yard, okay? Yes, you can post things on now you can do, Facebook postings and Instagram and all these things. Back then, that wasn't really a thing, so, didn't do that, but, you have to advertise it. You wanna make sure it's on the MLS. Now, some folks will, um, be a real estate agent there where they will take your listing only to put it on the MLS, and they'll charge you like a flat fee, but you would still be responsible for showings and yada, 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 yada. I personally would not do that either because literally you're paying them just to get it on the MLS, for your area or your state or whatever. But you can do that even now and still do it for sale by owner. But here is why I absolutely would not sell my house without a real estate agent. So not only are you responsible for marketing it, putting a sign in the yard, having open houses, um, having professional photos made, and sweet friends, if you think there is not a difference between professional photos and photos that you take on your phone, I'm gonna make a video about that one too because I've been down that road as well, but there is a major, major difference there, a major difference. And so I always tell the photographer that I use, look, I don't want you to use these wide angle lenses. I want you to portray the home exactly as it is. But I use his services because I don't want shadows. I want to make sure I'm not standing in the mirror and you can see half my head or something like that. So, yes, professional photos, you want those done. You want to make that home look the best that it can be so you can get some showings. Now, setting up showings. If you're doing it for sale by owner, you are more than likely gonna have to be there or have somebody at the home all the time for when you're doing showings. That's not practical, sweet friends. That's really not. Even if you put a combination, some kind of combination lock or lockbox on it, that's still not ideal. You don't know. You have no way to verify who is truly a real estate agent and who is just somebody coming into your home. And so what I like to do is, yes, I use a showing service. Some of my clients like to have complete control. They'll accept a showing or they'll decline it or suggest another time. Or sometimes they might be out of state and they'll say, Melody, can you just take care of it and maybe just, send me a little notification when there's a showing. Whatever we can do, we'll do that. But that takes that off of you. That's my expense, but it's a service for you. And then when the showing occurs, actually, for the safety of you and your home, you want to know when that agent and their client is in that house and when they leave. And so you want to have that. I know for me, I use a lockbox that has a Bluetooth. I know who goes in, I know what time they go in, and I know what time they go out. And that way, that again is a safety and a security measure. So, as a real estate agent, who's listing a house, I wanna make sure, that I have that. And that is, sweet friend, even before the first offer has even done. Okay? So, marketing, um, setting up showings, having secure entrance, and exits when someone's gonna be in your home. And then, if you're doing it for sale by owner, the documents. Have you ever really looked at some of these real estate documents? Again, pretty smart girl here. I got a couple of degrees, and I still sometimes, even after 5 years in real estate, have to call my broker and say, okay, there's this one little phrase here, explain it to me in a different way. It is extremely complicated to understand, and you want to make sure if you're selling your home, you want to understand every bit of the contract for the offer that you're receiving, what you're expected to do, what the buyer is going to do. Is there going to be a title company? You want to understand all of that. And so that is a legal binding contract, and so you wanna make sure you understand it before you sign it, before you accept it, reject it, counteroffer, and so that's what I do a lot of the time as a real estate agent is explaining these documents to you because there's usually more than one. There's usually gonna be an offer form. If you are listing your home, you want to disclose anything, that you know about the house. Maybe uh, um, 10 years ago there was a water leak in this room, things like that. The buyers are going to want to know that, so there needs to be certain documents filled out for that. And so there's all of this just what I'm gonna call paperwork, and it's not just paperwork that anybody can just understand, it needs to be, explained, and so as a real estate listing agent, I do that, I explain that. If my client asks me something I can't answer, I seek reinforcements from my broker, but that is why I want to be a resource. Then, if there's negotiation, if you get an offer, as a for sale by owner and you say, "Well, I like this part, I don't like that part, but I'll take this part," doing that negotiation because a lot of times what I have found is that when people are selling their own home, they're only thinking about the price, whereas a lot of times it can be that the price is negotiable, but there's other terms that the buyer needs instead. And as a for sale by owner, you don't always think about that. You're not supposed to. That's not you don't do this every day, all day long. And so that is another reason why it is so important to have somebody on your team to represent you and your best interest. It's in that negotiation process. Yes, price is always a big thing, but it's not the only thing. And then we go to inspections, okay? So the buyer will do all these inspections. They could do a septic inspection. They could do a pest inspection. They could do a home inspection. They could do a radon. Okay, so then they tell you what they want you to fix for the house. And you're saying, well, absolutely not. I'm not going to do this. I've lived in this house, blah, 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 blah. And you might have, but do you know what's behind those walls? Have you done these tests before? So again, as a seller, you want to have some, again, negotiation power. Again, that's where a real estate agent comes involved with inspections. Once that buyer decides what they want to ask you to fix, or maybe what they want to ask you to pay for, that back and forth negotiation on inspections. And then what about the appraisal? Oh my goodness. What if the buyer is financing, they're getting a loan, they get the appraisal done and they get it back and it doesn't appraise. If you don't have a real estate agent working with you, then you're probably going to say, well, that's it. I want what I want. Your bank won't give it to me because it didn't appraise, and you could lose the deal. But if you have a real estate agent there, they can often give you some different options. Can you do this? Can you do that? Would you be willing to da da da? So there's always these other steps or hoops that we could possibly jump through together, but you, as a for sale by owner, may not know those. And then there's closing. Closing. Do you understand all of the documents that you're signing as you are transferring the deed from your name to the new homeowner's name? So, here's my advice to you. If you're thinking about selling your home in East Tennessee, I would highly recommend that you talk with a real estate professional. I know with me, a few years ago with my family, I thought I could do it. Elementary school teacher, got a couple of degrees under my belt. I can totally do this. But then I realized it's just that the agents I knew made it look easy. There is so much more involved in the real estate process. And so I highly recommend, yes, they're going to charge you for the services that they provide for you, but it's like insurance. It's for peace of mind to make sure everything is done according to the contract. So if I can help you sell your house, I would be honored to. Reach out to me. Or if you're looking to purchase here in East Tennessee, reach out. My information is below. And you faithful followers, if you will comment, like, share this video with others, it would make my heart smile. And until next time.